My friends, my brothers, my sisters, whoever you are, wherever you are watching this from, stop for a second. Stop scrolling. Stop looking for the next piece of motivation, the next secret, the next magic pill. I want you to look at the screen, and I want you to listen to me. I want you to hear these words, not just with your ears, but with your bones. There is a phrase that has been burning in my mind, and it is the reason I am here today, speaking to you. It is a truth so simple, so brutal, and so easily ignored, that it separates the few who truly shape the world from the many who simply watch it pass by. The phrase is this: consistency is the price of becoming someone dangerous. Think about that for a moment. Let it land. Consistency is the price. It is not a suggestion. It is not a good habit. It is not something you do when you feel like it. It is a price. And like any price, it demands payment. You cannot negotiate it. You cannot get a discount. You cannot pay in installments of enthusiasm and then fall back on credit when the excitement fades. The universe does not accept your excuses as currency. It demands the cold, hard cash of consistency. We live in a world that is addicted to the new, the shiny, the immediate. We want the result without the process. We want the body without the gym. We want the wealth without the years of sacrifice. We want the skill without the thousands of hours of boring, repetitive practice. We want the reputation, the respect, the power of someone dangerous, but we want to pay for it with a credit card of occasional effort. And then we wonder why we are overdrawn, why our lives feel empty, why we feel weak and powerless. Becoming someone dangerous does not mean you walk into a room and people are physically afraid of you. That is a cheap Hollywood version of the word. True danger, the kind of danger I am talking about, is different. It is a person who possesses an unshakable competence. It is the person whose will is so forged in the fires of daily discipline that they cannot be broken by circumstance. It is the person who has become a master of their craft, whatever that craft may be. Think of the greatest warriors in history. Were they born dangerous? No. A newborn baby is the opposite of dangerous. It is the most vulnerable, helpless thing in the world. A warrior becomes dangerous one swing of the sword at a time, one push-up at a time, one early morning run at a time, one day of denying the easy path at a time. They paid the price day after day, until the sword became an extension of their arm, until the discipline became their nature, until they became a person who could not be ignored, who could not be pushed aside, who could not be defeated, because they had already defeated the enemy lives inside all of us. The enemy of laziness, the enemy of distraction, the enemy of quitting. When you are consistent, something alchemical happens. It is not just that you get better at your skill, although you do. It is that you change the fundamental structure of who you are. Every single time you show up when you don't feel like it, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. You are telling your brain, I am the kind of person who keeps my promises. I am the kind of person who does the work. I am not a passenger in my own life. I am the pilot. This is how you build self-trust. And self-trust is the bedrock of all confidence. How can you trust yourself to handle a crisis if you know you can't even trust yourself to get out of bed at 5 a.m.? How can you trust yourself to make $1 million decision if you can't trust yourself to stick to a diet for 30 days? You are constantly betraying yourself with your inconsistency, and then you wonder why you feel weak. You feel weak because you have proven to yourself over and over again that you are unreliable. Consistency is the forge, and the fire of that forge is boredom. And this is where most people are eliminated. Everyone is a champion in the first week of January. Everyone is motivated when the idea is fresh. Everyone is a beast when they first start a new project. The gym is packed on January 1st. By March, it is half empty. By June, it is back to the regulars, the ones paying the price. Motivation is a liar. Motivation is a fair weather friend. It shows up when things are easy, when you've had a good night's sleep, when you just watched an inspiring movie. But motivation will leave you the second you need it most. It will abandon you on the cold, dark morning when your bed is warm. It will ghost you when you fail, when you get negative feedback, when you are tired and sore and just want to quit. You cannot build an empire on motivation. You build it on discipline. And discipline is nothing more than the act of being consistent when motivation is absent. It is the ability to do the thing you said you were going to do, long after the feeling you had when you said it has faded into memory. This is where you become dangerous. This is the secret. The world is full of talented people who never made it. The world is full of brilliant people who are broke. The world is full of people with incredible potential who are sitting on their couches complaining about their lives. Talent is common. Genius is common. Ideas are a dime a dozen. What is rare? What is the single most valuable asset in the world? It is the ability to just keep going. It is the ability to execute day after day, week after week, year after year, until your consistent, boring, unglamorous work has stacked up into an insurmountable mountain that no one can climb but you. Consider the iceberg. The Titanic was sunk by something it could not see. The danger of the iceberg was not the part above the water. That was just the tip. The true danger, the mass, the power, the immovable object, was the 90% of it that was below the surface, built over centuries of snow falling, compressing, freezing, in the cold, dark, silent Arctic. That is you. The world only sees the tip. They see the success, the victory, the moment of impact. They do not see the years of silent, unseen, consistent work that built the foundation. They do not see the early mornings, the late nights, the weekend sacrifice, the friends you said no to, the parties you missed, the quiet, lonely hours at your desk or in the gym or on the practice field. That is the price. That is where you become dangerous. When you commit to this path, you will be tested. Oh, you will be tested. The universe will poke you. It will throw obstacles in your path just to see if you are serious. You will get injured. You will get rejected. Your business will fail. People will tell you that you are wasting your time. Your own mind will turn on you and whisper, "See, I told you this was a stupid idea. Why don't you just go back to being normal? Why don't you just go back to being comfortable?" And in that moment, you have a choice. You can listen to the voice of comfort, the voice of mediocrity, the voice that is afraid of the price. Or you can look at that obstacle, that failure, that pain, and you can say, "Is that all you've got? Is that the price? Because I am paying it. I am paying it in full. And I am not stopping." You see, failure is not the opposite of consistency. Failure is part of the process. The consistent person does not avoid failure. They fail forward. They use failure as data. They use it as fuel. They learn the lesson, they get back up, and they show up again the next day. The inconsistent person fails once and quits. The person who becomes dangerous fails 1,000 times and shows up 1,001 times. This is what separates the professional from the amateur. The amateur shows up when they feel like it. The professional shows up regardless. The amateur does the work when it's fun. The professional does the work when it's hard, boring, and seems pointless. The amateur is driven by the outcome. The professional is driven by the process. They fall in love with the boredom. They find a strange, deep satisfaction in the repetition because they know that every single rep, every single word written, every single call made is another brick in the cathedral they are building. And they know that cathedrals take time. They take a lifetime. You want to be dangerous in your career? Then you cannot be the person who costs. You cannot be the person who does the bare minimum and then checks out at 5 p.m. You must become the person who is learning when others are resting. The person who is practicing when others are partying. The person who is studying the market, refining the skills, building the network, even when no one is watching. You do that for a year, for 5 years, for 10 years, and you will look around one day and realize you are untouchable. You have become so competent, so skilled, so valuable, that you are no longer subject to the whims of the economy or the opinions of others. You have built a fortress of self-reliance. You want to be dangerous in your relationships? Then you cannot be the person who is hot and cold. You cannot be the person who is present one day and distant the next. You become someone dangerous to those you love by being consistent, by being the rock they can always count on, by showing up day after day with your love, your support, your attention. You build a bond of trust so deep, so profound, that it becomes an unbreakable force. That is a different kind of danger. It is the danger of being indispensable. It is the danger of being a source of strength in a world that is constantly falling apart. You want to be dangerous physically? Then you cannot be the person who works out for 3 months, gets some results, and then stops because you plateaued. The plateau is where champions are made. The plateau is the test. It is the universe saying, okay, you showed up for the easy gains. Now, are you going to show up for the hard ones? Are you going to do the boring, steady work that is required to break through to the next level? The consistent person knows that the plateau is not a wall. It is just a long, flat stretch of road. And they keep walking. The price is high. Do not let anyone tell you it is easy. The price is your comfort. The price is your free time. The price is the approval of people who don't understand you. The price is the ability to be spontaneous in the way that others are. You will miss things. You will have to say no to things you want to say yes to. You will have to go to bed when others are going out. You will have to get up when others are sleeping in. You will have to be lonely. You will have to be bored. You will have to stare into the abyss of your own mind and fight the urge to run back to the warm, soft, easy embrace of mediocrity. And that is exactly the point. That loneliness, that boredom, that struggle, that is the forge. That is where the steel is tempered. That is where you strip away the weak parts of yourself. That is where you find out what you are actually made of. Most people spend their entire lives running from that feeling. They fill every moment with noise, with distraction, with entertainment, with cheap dopamine, just so they don't have to sit alone with the uncomfortable truth that they are not becoming who they could be. But not you. Not anymore. You have heard the phrase. It is echoing in your mind now. Consistency is the price of becoming someone dangerous. You cannot unhear it. It is now a part of you. The question is not, do you understand it? The question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to let this video be just another piece of content you consume and forget? Are you going to feel a little burst of motivation? Maybe go for a run tomorrow, and then by next week be right back where you started? Or are you going to finally, for the first time in your life, decide to pay the price? It starts with a decision, a deep, fundamental decision. Not a wish, not a hope, a decision. You decide that you are going to become the person you fear you cannot be. You decide that you are going to stop negotiating with yourself. You decide that from this day forward, you will show up. You will do the work, no matter what, rain or shine, sick or healthy, happy or sad, motivated or not. You will show up. And you start small. You don't try to change everything overnight. You pick one thing, one non-negotiable. Maybe it's 10 minutes of reading. Maybe it's a 20-minute walk. Maybe it's writing one page. Maybe it's making 5 sales calls. You pick the one thing, and you decide that you will do it every single day. No exceptions. You build that brick, and then you build another, and then another. You prove to yourself that you can do it. You build that muscle of self-trust. And as you build that muscle in one area of your life, it will begin to leak into every other area. The discipline you build by going for that walk every day becomes the discipline you need to eat better. The consistency you build by writing every day becomes the consistency you need to build a business. It all connects. It all stacks. You are not just building a habit. You are building a new identity. You are slowly, brick by brick, becoming someone dangerous. There will be days when you fail. You are human. You will miss a day. You will slip. And the voice of mediocrity will scream at you, see? You failed. You might as well quit. You are not one of them. And in that moment, you must understand something crucial. Consistency is not about perfection. It is about direction. If you miss a day, you do not break the chain. You just don't miss 2. You get back up the next day, and you show up again. The only way to truly fail is to stop. As long as you keep getting back up, as long as the overall trend of your life is toward showing up, you are paying the price. Look at the people you admire. Look at the people you consider truly dangerous in their field. Do you think they got there by accident? Do you think they got there by being talented? Of course not. They got there because they were willing to do the boring work when no one was watching. They got there because they fell in love with the process. They got there because they understood that the masterpiece is not the final painting. The masterpiece is every single brushstroke that came before it. The world is desperate for people like this. The world is crying out for people who can be counted on, for people who have a core of steel, for people who have paid the price and become dangerous. The world is full of fragile people, people who shatter at the first sign of pressure, people who are blown around by every wind of opinion and emotion. Be the one who stands firm. Be the one who is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Be the one who, when everything around them is chaos, is a source of calm, focused power. This is your invitation. This is your challenge. The door is open, but you have to walk through it. And the only way to walk through it is to start paying the price. Today, not tomorrow, not on Monday, not on January 1st. Today, turn off the distractions. Put away the phone. Look at your goals. What is the one thing you need to do? What is the one thing that if you did it consistently for 1 year would change your life forever? Find it. And then start. Do it today. Do it tomorrow. Do it the day after that. Do it when you're tired. Do it when you're sad. Do it when you're angry. Do it when you feel like no one cares. Do it when you feel like giving up. Because that is the moment that matters most. That is the moment when you are paying the highest part of the price. And that is the moment when you are forging the most dangerous version of yourself. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait until you feel ready. You will never feel ready. You just start. And you keep going. You keep showing up. You pay the price, day after day, until one day you look in the mirror and you don't recognize the weak person who was there before. You see someone with fire in their eyes and steel in their spine. You see someone who cannot be broken. You see someone dangerous. Go now. The price is waiting. Pay it.